Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Marlena Frank. I'm a young adult fantasy and horror author, and today I thought I would review some beautiful hardcover notebooks that I found on Amazon. Now, these are Labkiss hardcover notebooks, and they come in A5 size and a pack of 3 like you see here. Right now, as of this recording, they are going for $19.99 on Amazon. Today I'm going to be trying to swatch a few different pen types just to see how they function on the paper. Now, I got these journals on the Amazon Vine program. I'm not getting compensated for them in any way. All of my opinions I share with you today are my own. So let's go ahead and get started and get in here and see what they look like. Now, after opening up the bag, you can see each one of these has been completely wrapped as well. And you get a nice view of how each of these journals look. You couldn't tell before, but they're actually quite thick, which I like as an author who tends to fill up these journals pretty quickly when I'm writing books. I tend to write all of my books, the first draft of them, longhand lately, so I go through them. So let me open up one of these and we can see how they look like inside. Now, when you're opening these, obviously there's lots of strings like that for the bookmark and the journal closure, so make sure that you're careful so you don't accidentally cut them when you're opening them up. This is more to tell myself as much as it is to tell you. Okay, so the first thing that I notice here is that this is nice and smooth. I like the matte finish on these. It feels nice, which, you know, for writers out there, you know that makes a big difference when you get journals. So let's open it up. I like that this is nice and pretty. You can see here that this has been built into the cover, so that's really good. Doesn't look like it's going to be coming off easily, which I like. It's inside of this hard casing, which is great. Now, I always like to open it up toward the front just to see how this lays down flat. And for a hard book cover, this is actually pretty nice. I'm impressed. I was not expecting these to lay down flat as nicely as they do, but they really do. And you see all of these, I got the ruled version. They have blank pages and they also have dot journals. So if you are an artist or a bullet journaler, then you can get those with different interior type pages. This is quite nice. This area in the front lays down nice and smooth. I can imagine putting stickers and decorating in here as well. And it opens pretty nice and wide for one that's not a spiral notebook. This is pretty great. Let's take a look at this bookmark too. Oh yeah, this is built into the seam up here. Not sure if you can see that, but it's built in onto the back, which is wonderful. I've had those fall out in other journals before. You know, you're taking them everywhere and using them all the time. That's what happens. No pockets in the back. I kind of wanted to see that, but that's okay. You get a lot of pages, which is a big plus for me. And I'll probably add in on the screen exactly how many because I forgot to look that up earlier. But these look really nice. I can see myself definitely using these for drafting out a whole book. I tend to aim for around, for my current books that I'm writing, my young adult books, I aim for around 55,000 words to 60,000 words. And in the journals I'm currently working in, my rough draft tends to be around 40,000, so I end up usually adding on another 10 to 15,000 words whenever I'm going through and doing additional work on the draft with edits. But I could definitely see filling this up. This is thicker than my normal journals I tend to get, so yeah, this might actually hold a full book of mine in it, which would be awesome. So let's see how the bleed through works, because that's kind of the real test. So first of all, let me show you the kind of pens I'm going to be using. First of all, here you have a basic Pilot G2 07mm pen. This is kind of your basic gel pen. I use these for just about everything. Those are some of my favorite gel pens to use to write with. Next up, I'm going to be using my fountain pen, which is a Pilot Metropolitan, and this is probably my favorite pen to write with. I use this longhand on all of my novels when I'm writing, and so making sure that these pages don't have bleed through is very important for me. I'm going to be using, with that one, the J. Herbin Pearl Noir ink. I love this ink. It's very basic. It's not that expensive, and my other bottle that I have right now is about halfway down. This is my backup bottle. Again, this is a J. Herbin Pearl Noir ink, which I find to be wonderful for just basic black ink for, you know, writing copious amounts. Next up, we have the Pentel 24/7 medium rollerball. This is a nice green gel pen. I like it quite a bit, and this is a ballpoint pen as well, so you can see that there. It'll focus. There we go. Next, again, I don't know what people want to use in these kind of journals. I have a nephew who loves doing everything in Sharpie, so that's why I wanted to check with Sharpie pens. Let's make sure that doesn't end up bleeding through. And finally, a basic Sharpie highlighter, just to make sure that doesn't cause an issue on bleed through as well. Let's find out how these look. Okay, so we're going to start with the Pilot G2-07. Nice and smooth writing, which I like to see with a gel pen that's kind of a workhorse when you're writing. I consider these workhorse pens. They get a lot done. And then let's try the Pilot Metropolitan with the J. Herbin Pearl Noir ink. That feels very nice to write with on here, which makes a big difference. Your pen doesn't feel like it's sliding around a whole lot, which is always what I'm afraid of with some of these journals that you get. But this is very nice with fountain pens so far. We will see if it bleeds through or not. That's the big indicator, right? Next, we're going to look at the Pentel 24/7 medium rollerball. Now this does seem like it's a thicker ink that comes down on here, and I'm not sure if that's because this is quite a bit of a larger pen nub than some of the other pens that I've put down here, but that one might bleed through. We'll find out. Next up we have the Sharpie, which I am expecting to bleed through. That's just, you know, Sharpies tend to do that a lot on paper. Still writes nicely though. Again, this paper feels like it's got some grit to it. You don't feel it with your fingertip, but you do feel it when you're writing on it, which is nice. Keeps your pen from slipping, keeps your ink from bleeding and feathering. And next we're going to try this highlighter, and let's see if that goes to the other side of the page here. All right, now the big moment of truth here. Let's find out how this looks. All right, so we can see that the green ink from the Pentel 24, that does bleed through some. So does the permanent marker, but I'm actually very impressed to see that the Pilot G2 doesn't bleed through, and neither does the fountain ink, which I expected that to have much more bleed through, more like this. But this paper feels very thick. So yes, this is definitely good for fountain pen users. Overall, I think the quality that you get for the price point on these journals is very nice. They have a nice feel to them. They feel pretty sturdy as hardback journals. You get a good amount of paper in them, and they work on a variety of inks. If you are looking for good journals to get, just a good trio of heavy-duty, colorful journals with lovely flowers all over them, this is a good set to get. I do recommend them. Now, I do have a link down below where I have linked these journals where you can find them on Amazon, again currently priced at $19.99. Note that I am part of the Amazon affiliate program, so I do get a percentage if you choose to buy anything on there, but you do not have to pay more because of that. That's taken out of what you would normally be paying for the product. So again, if you choose to do that, thank you very much for supporting me, and please be sure to like and subscribe. I hope to do more of these kinds of review videos, especially focused on writers who do longhand work like this, and I hope to see you around again. Bye!